Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Jenny. I'm from Jenny Card Designs. My YouTube channel contains content that is intended to share paper crafting, tutorials, and inspiration with all of you. These are solely my own ideas and inspiration. I hope that you enjoy. In today's video, we're going to be working with the Gina Designs A Big Hello card kit. This kit is jam-packed full of beautiful stamps and dies and cardstock and even a stencil. So in my quick project video today, I'm going to show you a way to stretch the stencil to create a new look. I think it's a really cute background that can be used for pretty much any of your stencils that are kind of symmetrical like this one. So let's jump into this project. So we're going to create this heart background in behind this hello stamp. And for this card, I used the flowers that are in this stamp set here, and that stencil, and some gems that I have in my stash. This is just a mix of different sizes. So let's start with the background. So I've got a piece of cardstock. This is just a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 piece of cardstock, and I've got some low tack painter's tape, and I'm just going to tape my stencil down to my work surface over top of my cardstock. And I've got a couple of my blending brushes. These are my Tailored Expressions blender brushes. And I'm going to ink blend the stencil onto the cardstock. I'm using Gina Designs Premium Dye ink. I'm using powder blue and sea glass. And I'm going to concentrate the ink into the center and just get a nice light fade out. And then once I'm happy with that, I'm going to shift the stencil so that the opened hearts land in between the hearts that have already been inked on the panel. And you can see right through the stencil to be able to tell where you need to be. And then I'll take my sea glass color and I'll ink up the center and fade out to the edges. So we have a nice concentration of ink in the center and a light gentle fade outwards. I'm going to stamp this butterfly from the set. This card that I'm making is a little bit different than the sample that I showed you in the beginning. I went in a whole different direction here. So I'm going to stamp up or ink up this butterfly with my Obsidian Black Amalgam ink, and I've just got a piece of white craft foam here, and I'm going to put that behind my panel so that when I stamp down I'll get a nice smooth impression. Also, I'm using a comfort block for the first time, and let me tell you, these are exactly what they're named. They're super comfortable to hold. I really like them. So I just bought 2 of the comfort blocks just to try them out to see if I would like them, and I'm going back for more, that's for sure. These are great blocks. So now we're going to go to the sentiment. The sentiment says, "I've been thinking about you," and I'm just going to put that down on my work surface so that I can use my acrylic block to pick it up. I'll ink up my stamp and stamp that onto my panel. And I'm happy with the way that turns out. So we're going to turn this panel into a quick little card. So I've got a white card base here, and I noticed when I went to mount my panel onto my card base that my panel and my card base are not the same variation of white. So when I put my panel up against my card base, it almost makes it look a little yellow. So what I decided to do was to take my ink blending brush, and I'm going to take that sea glass ink, and I'm just going to ink up the edges around the outside so that once it's up against the cardstock, the 2 whites won't be touching essentially. So you won't be able to really tell that it's off. So once I ink up all of those edges, I create a nice variation of color on the outside of my panel. And then when I lay it down over top of my white cardstock, it looks a lot better. I'm much happier and more pleased with its outcome. I'll use my dot runner to adhere my panel to my cardstock, and then I'm going to pull out some of these gems. Now this little container of gems has multiple different sizes, and I really like that. I like having more than 2 to 3 sizes. I like using as many as I can on my cards. It just creates a really nice look. So I'm just pulling out a bunch of them. I'm not even counting. I'm just pulling out a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then I'm going to use my Gina Connect glue. Now this is the first time I'll be using this adhesive glue, and I did find that I kept getting some air bubbles in it, and I'm wondering if it may have been that it might have gotten frozen during shipping on its way here to Canada. So I just kind of let it settle, and I'll test it out next time, and hopefully it turns out a little bit better. But the glue was great. Once I got past the air bubbles, I was happy with the way that it came out of the tube. And I've just got a Marvy jewel picker here, and I'll use my jewel picker to pick up my little gems and lay them down on the Connect glue that I've placed down on my cardstock. And this is going to give us a nice sparkle to this lovely card. And I'm happy with that, with the way it turned out. It's a cute little card using stamps and a stencil from the big Hello card kit. Here's a close-up look at the project that I've made for you today, and another look at the Hello card I made with that same stencil technique. Also, this week we missed our card making basics video. I was not able to get it posted in time, so next week we'll have a video on Monday for card making basics, the breakdown. So tune in for that. That'll be on Monday. I'm going to work on editing that video this weekend and hopefully have our schedule back up and running on Monday. Thanks so much for stopping by and spending time with me here today. I really appreciate you being here. So have yourself a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.